Hello and welcome back. It is somehow December TBR time. I have no idea how that's happened. Although, look, if we're being honest, the fact that I still haven't filmed my October wrap up probably isn't helping my perception of time. But it's been one of those months. We do what we can. We're here, we're getting ready for December. And you know what? The important thing is I have been reading and I have been enjoying reading. So I will take that. But yeah, we have got 1 month left in the year. I am, as a whole, doing really well tracking for my reading goals, which makes me very, very happy. So if you have been following along this year, one of my big goals has been to reduce the age of my physical TBR. And one of the ways that I've been doing that is every single month I have been reading the oldest book on my shelves that I have not yet read. And this month that is Truly Madly Deeply by Alexandria Bellafleur. So this one is set in the same area, universe. I don't know, do you call it a universe when it's a contemporary? I don't really know, but anyway, it's set in the same whatever we're saying that the Fiancé Farce is set in. This one is an MF contemporary romance that is, I believe, set in a bookshop. The US cover of this one is really, really cute. The same for the Fiancé Farce. And then this one is generic. It's fair to say. But we carry on. UK book reader problems. Sometimes we have gorgeous covers. Sometimes we get things like this. I have heard differing opinions on this one, so we'll see where I go, but I'm very excited to read it. And assuming I read this, the most recent books on my TBR will then be from September 2024, which is when I went to Rare and bought quite a few books. So I will be very, very happy with that progress if that's what we can get to. And speaking of Rare 2024, I've got 2 books that I would like to read this month that I did pick up at that event. One of them has been on TBRs earlier in the year, and that is Broken Souls by Lisa Helen Gray. This one is on the darker side and it is all set around a strip club. This is a couple that has been teased for the last couple of books because it is a second chance, and there are also some secrets that have been kept which kind of came to light at the end of the last book, so it'd be really, really interesting to see how those play out. I don't really know why I haven't picked it up yet. I think it is just one of those things, it's never felt quite right, but this one will finish off a series for me as well, so it was in my list of series that I was targeting before the end of the year, which I've mostly given up on that list, but it would still be nice to finish a few off. And then the other book that I picked up at Rare 24 that I want to get to is The Devil Wears Tartan by Katia Rose. I basically bought every contemporary romance of Katia's I haven't read at Rare, and I haven't managed to get too many of them at all. I have been reading her new releases as they come out and I absolutely adore every single one. So I am very, very excited to read the others when I get to them. I just have to be really careful like how many contemporaries I read in a month. I burn out on them really, really quickly. So hopefully this will be the month that I get to it. And obviously, like, nice red book, feels very like Christmas coloured. It's probably like set in spring or something, but you know, the colour scheme fits, so we're going with it. And then a book that I picked up at Rare this year, but is from one of the series that I am currently working my way through, and that is Turned by a Tiger by Phyllis D. Heaton. So this is the Eternal Mate series, paranormal romance. They have all, certainly as far as I have read, been MF romances, and this one I'm going to take a punt from the title and suggest that it's a tiger shifter. I don't really know where I'm getting that vibe from, but that's what we're going to guess. These are really good fun. This one's one of the slightly shorter ones of the series. They're all fated mates and they're all set in the same universe that's got so much different paranormal stuff going on that it's really enjoyable to work my way through. Then, speaking of series that I need to continue, another one that was actually on my list of 15 series, and that is A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke. This is the third and final book in the Las Leonas series, which is all historical romances around 3 friends and a visit to Paris during the World Fair. So this one did release earlier this year and I haven't got to it. The main reason that I haven't got to it is the paperback never released in the UK. So they changed the covers just before book 3 was going to release, and they released all 3 of the new covers in the US, and then they never released the 3rd book over here. So I think in my head I had it pre-ordered, I was going to be reading it in paperback, and then it took me a while to realise that actually no, it just wasn't ever going to appear over here. So I just need to make the decision to buy it on one of my e-readers and read it, because I am really excited. I love Adriana Herrera's books and this series as a whole has been great so far. So I very much would like to read that one before the year is out. Now, speaking of buying books, I did something that I have not done for a very, very long time. So I recently went on a work trip to London and I took the opportunity to go for a little walk around Waterstones and Foyles when I was in the area, because the Waterstones and Foyles in the Piccadilly area are just gorgeous. I highly, highly recommend if you are in the middle of London for anything. But while I go in bookshops not infrequently, and sometimes I do go in thinking, oh, if they have this book, I'll buy it. What I haven't done in a really long time is just decide to buy a book when I'm in a bookshop. And honestly, I still probably wouldn't. I texted my husband when I was in Waterstones and I was like, why am I incapable of just deciding to buy myself a book? I'll decide to buy the kids the book if I see something that I think one of them would love. But for me, I think with concentrating so much on reducing my physical TBR and things like that, I just haven't decided for ages to just pick up a book. So when I was in Foyles, I did just that. So this month I am planning to read Glow of the Everflame by Pen Cole. Now, yes, in a way, you could say this is a book that I was planning to buy myself at some point. It is the 2nd book in a series that I started this year and really enjoyed the 1st book. This is a fantasy romance series, MF fantasy romance series, and there's like some really cool magic and like people from different classes and all the usual fun things that you get in a fantasy romance. It was a really good time. But the point is that I might have considered asking for this for Christmas. I might potentially have eventually bought it for myself, but not that likely. But yeah, I actually went into a bookshop and decided to buy myself a book. So weirdly, for people who are in the booktube and bookstagram space, that's an achievement for me at the moment. I seem to have the opposite problem to everyone else. But hopefully I will be reading this one in December. It is a lot longer than book 1, I will say that. But it still has the same cool chapter header pages. They're so cute. So yeah, really looking forward to reading that one. And then there are 2 books that are releasing in December, actually in the very first week of December, that I really want to read. So on like literally I think the 1st of December, if not the 2nd, there is going to be Choke on My Name by Lily X. So this is in her, I can't remember what it's called, it's her magic series anyway. The 1st book was Will It Hurt, that I read that one when it came out. It was so good. So these are sapphic paranormal romances with very much on the darker side, and we have got like vampires and witches and things. The last one was set in Edinburgh. I think this one might be as well. So lots of like gothic-y vibes. And it was just, I really, really enjoyed reading Will It Hurt, so very excited to read this one as well. And then a book that I have pre-ordered for December that has had so much build up and hype is Tender Cruelty by Katie Robert. So this one is book 9 in the Dark Olympus series, and it is finally time for Zeus and Hera's book, which has been built up and built up and built up so much. These guys literally want to kill each other. So I am really excited to read that. Also, a bit crazy the fact that that is book 9 and it is a 10-book series. So it has nearly got to that point. Like, the pre-orders are out. I've already pre-ordered Shattered Gods, and that is, going to be here before we know it. So I can't believe that, because I have been reading the series pretty much as every single book came out, which has been a hell of a ride. They are like Greek god inspired dark romances in a modern setting, and you've got loads of power plays around Olympus. It is a series that you do have to read in order to understand, because while each book is a different relationship, there is very much a world plot that is going through. So it is one that I am very much enjoying and really looking forward to. And then other books that I might be reading in December, there will almost certainly be something Christmassy in there. I think I've got Merry Inkmas by Talia Hibbert on one of my e-readers, and there might be a couple of other Christmas ones that I downloaded last year as well. So I'll probably pick up at least one of those. And then on a completely different end of the scale, I am likely to only be about halfway through Raising Steam by Terry Pratchett at the end of this month, which is what I expected. I think I said it in my TBR video, but it was always my intention to try and read at least half of it this month. I knew it would take me a while to read. So if that's the point I get to, fantastic, and I would just love to finish it before the end of this year. I have been reading one Discworld book a year for the last couple of years just to try and finish off the last few, and this is the last one of the adult Discworld books that I have to read. So that will be a very, very long-term project finished off if I can finish that book next month as well. So we've got, for me, quite a mix. Some fantasy, some paranormal, some contemporary, all sorts of things going on, and I am really looking forward to it. I've honestly, this month, lots of things have been quite up and down, but I have enjoyed reading so much, and I'm really excited to hopefully continue that into next month and see where we get to. Let me know if you have got any thoughts on any of the books that I have mentioned, if there's any that you have read or would like to read. And let me know what you're looking forward to reading in December. Are you kind of going Christmassy vibes, or just what you normally like to read? I'm excited to hear what you're reading, and I will see you soon. Bye!